Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right everyone, do you have your coffee? How about some iced tea? You're definitely going to need your popcorn because things are about to heat up even more in Washington, D.C. They are. I can't wait.
If you thought the meltdowns over the last few weeks have been bad, just wait until you hear what's about to happen. Elon and Doge just announced that they're going to be investigating politicians who have a relatively low yearly salary in comparison to a huge overall net worth. I'm looking at you, Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, just to name a few, allegedly. So expect the meltdowns to get even crazier. Oh, and he found out that we have been paying Social Security payments to people who are 150 years old. Now we understand why they were so scared of Elon and why they didn't want him digging around.
Now this is wild. Elon has come out and said that the most number of people that can retire in a month is about 10,000. And why is that? And it's because the government uses a limestone mine to hold all the retirement paperwork, which is done manually and stored via a shaft.
The most number of people that could retire possibly in a month is 10,000. We're like, whoa, why is that? Well, because all the retirement paperwork is manual on paper. It's manually calculated, then written down on a piece of paper. Then it goes down a mine. And like, what do you mean a mine? Like, yeah, there's a limestone mine where we store all the retirement paperwork. And you look at a picture of this mine. We'll post some pictures afterwards. And this mine looks like something out of the 50s because it was started in 1955. So it looks like it's like a time warp. And then the speed, the limiting factor is the speed at which the mine shaft elevator can move determines how many people can retire from the federal government. And the elevator breaks down sometimes, and then nobody can retire. Doesn't that sound crazy? There's like 1,000 people that work on this. So I think if we can take those people and say, like, you know what, instead of working in a mine shaft and carrying manila envelopes to, boxes in a mine shaft, you could do practically anything else, and you would add to the goods and services of the United States in a more useful way.
Now, this mine that's in question is Iron Mountain. And Iron Mountain is about 300 and something thousand square foot. It's a data center, more than 200 feet deep. It uses a 35-acre underground reservoir to create a geothermal cooling system. A report from 2021 has revealed how the government tried and failed to digitize the process for decades. $106 million later, and failing to do so, the government decided to keep the old process. It's the OPM facility. They resumed functioning with the processes that were established back in 1977. Yeah.
It supports many of our high security customers, such as banks, financial institutions, healthcare organizations, and the federal government. If you are a high compliance or high security need organization, this is the place to be. The Western Pennsylvania facility is a city underground. It has many of the same things that a city would have. It has fire and rescue teams and a store. It has enough fuel storage to last 72 hours without having to refuel. As we go further and further into the labyrinth, which is the facility, we reach the data center portion. There are more than 6 different challenge points before we hit the data center. These challenge points and these extra gates help with security and compliance. The 30-foot thick limestone and 200 feet of stone above the facility lead to natural weather protection, and the ambient temperature of 53 degrees helps the facility remain cool. Iron Mountain works with our customers to design the space of their needs. Whether it's what you can see over my shoulder, cage material, or solid steel wall, Faraday enclosures, or coops, Iron Mountain is there to support those customers. For each of the power feeds that are overhead, powered with Starline bus, behind it are UPSs, separate UPSs, separate generators, and then separate power feeds coming from our grid. All of this designed to be able to support complete redundancy within the system. With a rich ecosystem of different network and cloud providers, Iron Mountain has a network solution that will fit your needs. Iron Mountain is committed to sustainability. You can see that most when we talk about power. This facility and all of our data center facilities are powered by 100% green energy. Whether that's through the solar deployments that we've put on our facilities, including Jersey, or whether that's through the wind turbines that we've sponsored in Western Pennsylvania, 100% of that power is coming from green sources. Additionally, this facility is very unique. All of the cooling goes back to an underground lake. We pump and transfer the heat from the crawl units that you see beside me back to the lake, and then pump that heat into the water. That lake can sustain 10 megawatts of heat coming from these facilities as it stands today.
So, the news broke, okay? 4 female employees that defied executive orders. They funneled $59 million to luxury hotels in New York City. They've been fired, but that's not enough. No. They should fire or face, they should face more than job loss, in my opinion. They need to face financial penalties and maybe even jail time. They should be charged with crimes against humanity. While they funded lavish stays for migrants in New York City, they evicted people from hotels in freezing western North Carolina and East Tennessee as well, condemning them to tents or worse in the brutal cold. And some didn't even survive the frost they were cast into. No. This isn't just mismanagement, okay? It's moral bankruptcy. And they deserve accountability for every life lost to the cold. It's just the facts.
So the news is out that the 4 female employees that blatantly disregarded the executive orders and decided amongst themselves to go ahead and send the $59 million to all these luxury hotels in New York City are getting fired. And that's all well and dandy, but I don't think it needs to end there. See, in my personal opinion, there needs to be more done to you than just losing your freaking jobs. There needs to be some kind of financial repercussions for y'all. And I damn sure think that y'all needs to go sit your happy asses in jail. That's for a fact. In my other personal opinion, I think every one of you need to be charged with crimes against humanity. Because while you're sitting here funneling money to New York City and for these illegal migrants to stay in luxury hotels, y'all were kicking people out of hotels in Western North Carolina and East Tennessee when it was freezing cold outside. You were blatantly throwing these people out on their asses in the freezing cold temperatures with their children, forcing them to live in tents or any kind of structure they can find to get out of the freaking cold weather. There were people who were unalived because of the cold temperatures that you kicked them out into. So you damn straight, I think you need to be charged with crimes against humanity. That's for a fact.
And now, because of Elon, we will never know how much would a woodchuck chuck could a woodchuck could chuck wood.
What the hell is wrong with you people anyways? I hope you're all right with this. You know, I thought all of you were smarter than this, but apparently not. I mean, look at this. You can see it all. And now, after all this work, just because of Elon Musk and Donald Trump, I lost my job. We're never going to now know how much wood a woodchuck chucks if a woodchuck could chuck wood. And I almost finished. Look at this. The project was almost done. How are future generations going to put food on the table now? This is terrible. I hope you're happy with yourselves. I don't know. This is something for the Department of Education to figure out. We can't block the doors. I don't know. This is a tragedy. Okay.
Now, I leave you with this. Stop laughing. I've listened to this about 10 times and I still get the chills every time I listen to it. It is beautiful. It's a wonderful rendition. Okay? I leave you with this. Ciao.